you've been obviously working with a lot of new people when they first come into Traffic Geyser. Is that probably one of the biggest errors that you see people make? That idea of trying to game the search engines or come up with a scam, or do you see, are there any other mistakes that you see people make along that same line?
Well, the big thing is, what I would say is this. The biggest mistakes they make is, A, they're looking for the magic bullet. They're looking for something for nothing. So yeah, it's basically just plain old laziness. And the other thing is they don't understand the psychology of how and why people buy. Okay? And let's think about that a little while. I'd ask you the question, what makes you want to buy a product or service?
The biggest thing is it's going to solve a problem that I have, and I believe in the fact that it's going to solve that problem. You were talking about the testimonials before, and that obviously resonated with me, mindful that when people are online, that biggest thing, they just don't, how can you trust what someone's saying?
Exactly. So the first thing that I teach people, and I actually have a full course on this, I'd say let me just think about this for a second, how I'd present it. Okay, here's what it is. I'd say, yes, the number one thing you need is social proof, okay? That's going to be what people, want to connect with and see, is there someone who's just like me who's gotten results who I actually believe and trust, okay? So that would be number one. Number two is show me that it works. Demonstrate results. Number three is establish yourself as a credible expert and authority. Now, and the fourth thing, which is really the most important, is have an offer. Okay, because you can give away a whole bunch of content. You see this all the time. It'll be like, hey, I'll give you a good example. This is the stupidest thing, but I got a reporter called me up. And do you remember when the Real Steve Jobs blog was about in a foot?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they did that on Twitter as well.
Yeah. Great idea. And it turned out that it was actually some reporter. I can't remember his name right now, but he got a lot of attention, and he wrote this article about how online advertising is dead because I only made $1,000 and I had 1.5 million visitors to my website. And I couldn't help saying to myself, you stupid idiot, you got exactly what you deserved. You blew your opportunity to actually build a credible name for yourself and become an authority, but you squandered it because either out of ignorance or something else. But here's what I told the reporter, and I said it a lot nicer than that, but I wanted to say idiot in this review, okay? I just don't have a lot of patience for this kind of stupidity personally, but here's the deal. If he weren't an idiot, what he would have done is presented some content, because he clearly had some idea after all the blog comments and all the visitors of what type of person was coming to his site, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to profile him based on what kind of questions they ask and what's important to him. And if he would have said something like, created a little free offer, an ebook that would have provided some kind of value that would have spoken to that audience, said enter your email address, okay? So you get 1.5 million visitors. If you have a good opt-in, a good offer on your site, you could probably, when I create a single offer, I usually get 20 to 50, as high as 60% opt-in rates, all right? That's to a single page that's built to generate leads, as opposed to like a blog, which has a whole bunch of stuff on it. And there's a couple lessons that you learn about optimization and generating leads, which is if you give people more than one option, they do neither, okay? If you give them one option, which is sign up for my stuff or go away, they do one or the other. And if your offer is good, you're going to convert most of them, at least the ones that believe you. And if you come from a place of speaking from your heart and being authentic, there's a high probability they'll believe you, especially if you got a bunch of testimonials or you're associated with a celebrity or something like that. So anyway, the first thing, of course, is the basis of what he did had no integrity. So he was a liar to start with. That's the number one problem. But let's say we'd get past that for a moment. He'd offer something really good to him. And then even when he got found out that he was a liar, if he would have said, look, I created this to do a test or whatever his story is, he could have spun it just fine. But I had so much great feedback from people who wanted to know more about what I wrote about, I've put together another guide. And then he could create a continuity program. He could start doing advertising and promotion and actually delivering solutions that would help his viewer and help his subscriber increase the quality of their life. It's a question of value. Bottom line is this guy could have made millions of dollars And he could have even transitioned from being, a fake Steve Jobs to becoming a real person, and he could have done it without losing a lot of these people. But the fact is, he didn't develop rapport with them. He didn't develop trust. He didn't provide any value other than, basically creating news porn, essentially. It just didn't have high value. So that's a long-handed way of answering your question, but traffic by itself doesn't mean anything if you don't have a conversion mechanism in place. And the best conversion is proof. Proof that what you have works, proof that other people use it in the form of social proof, and being able to demonstrate before and after, ease of use. Or as I often teach, there's the Mary Kay solution, which is it easy, does it work, and can I do it? Okay, if you answer those 3 questions, you can do it in 30 seconds. Boom, you own them. You own that relationship. You've generated trust, and people are going to flock to you. And the other thing that you do is you generate authority, and that's done by, again, writing an ebook, a special report, or actually writing a book. And I've been in the process now of writing a book, and the way I do it is I answer questions on video. I have them transcribed. I give them to an editor who's putting it all together. You could basically write a book by just answering questions. You could probably do it in 2 weeks.
I think
survey your audience,